Hey there, I'm Tiffany with Peachy Designs. This month we're going to be creating a fun cow stamp in Procreate. We're going to use layered clip art and blending modes, and I've got some really fun brushes so that you can make it your own. I'm going to walk you through how I made mine, but your Stampede style pack is going to come with everything you need so that you can customize it and have fun with this. So follow along with me, make it totally new stamp, or turn it into something for your shop maybe. If you're new here, welcome. Every month I share a free Procreate lesson to help you get creative and grow your design skills, even if you're just starting out. We are going to be skipping next month because December. Anyway, don't worry though, we'll be back in January with another free lesson and a creative challenge, which I will be giving you more details on at the end of this lesson. Grab your iPad and let's start creating. If you haven't already, go ahead and download the Stampede style package. And once you've downloaded that, then you'll be able to get everything set up so that you can follow along. So obviously, we already have downloaded that. So you're going to download that, and then you're going to open up Procreate, slide up at the bottom, and you're going to navigate. I'm going to grab the folder and I'm going to slide it over my file folder. And you would be navigating to wherever you have saved this Stampede style pack. And the first thing we're going to do is you're going to click on the Western Whimsy brush set. That's going to install the pattern brushes for this. And then you're going to install the Western Wildflower swatches. And that is going to install the color palette for this. After you've done that, you can just click these three dots. You can say close, and then you're going to click up at your screen where it says import. And again, you're going to navigate to wherever you have saved this Stampede style, the folder that you downloaded. And I'm going to, so we're going to click on this stamp, and this is a PSD file. If for any reason you're unable to get this PSD file in layers, sometimes some of the older models of iPads, or if your storage is really limited, you may not be able to open up a PSD file and with where it has your layers in Procreate. So if you can't, I did provide the PNG layers, so you would just import those individually, and then will be able to follow along. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and click on the PSD stamp file, and it's going to import that. And this is what I mean by layers. So we have our base layer, then we have the border layer, and then this is our outlines. I'm going to turn on this background so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So I have a clip art membership, and in my clip art membership, for a lot of the elements, I provide these layered files so that it makes it real easy to customize the layers. That's not something that everybody has. You could always, if you just had this outline, you could go ahead and choose your brushes. You could color this in any way that you want. But because I have these layered files and they've already got some texture, I'm going to show you how we are going to do this. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new layer by clicking this plus button up here. And then we're going to choose a color from where did it install it? Way down at the bottom. I like here. Sorry about that. And of course, right down here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and set this as an active one here. I clicked on those three dots and did this, and that way I won't have to keep scrolling each time. So I'm just going to select a color that I like out of here. I like this kind of bright pink color. And now I'm going to click on this color and I'm going to drag and drop it. Then I'm going to go back up and I'm going to say clipping mask, and that is going to clip it to the shape underneath it. Now I'm also going to say, if you're already a little bit more familiar with Procreate, at this point you could import a pattern or a paper from somewhere else and you could use that for this fill, but I'm going to use a solid color because I want to show you how we're going to use these brushes, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now I'm going to adjust my blending modes. And so as you can see, as I'm adjusting these blending modes, it allows, hopefully you can see, maybe if I scroll in a little bit, you can see a little bit better as we're doing this. I'm going to do it. So again, these blending modes, you can see as you're going through them, it's changing the way that this pink layer interacts with that gray layer underneath it. I'm going to scroll on down because I typically like the color layer. I think that I like the way that that looks. And so now if I scroll back out, you can see. So I'm going to go with the color layer, and then we're going to hit the plus icon again on the layers menu. And now we're going to go to yours will just say Western Whimsy. I already had it in here once. And you can select one of these pattern brushes out of here. Let's select the paisley ones. I'm going to adjust this color. I think I'm going to make it a little lighter shade of pink. Perfect. And then we're just going to start coloring it in. On that lighter shade of pink, it's not really showing up so great on the pink. So what we can do is we can just hit Alpha Lock. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose this darker color here. And then we're going to say fill layer. Perfect. And now we're going to do a clipping mask. So you can see it, we've put that pattern back behind it. You can see here it didn't fill it in completely. Oh, so you would have to turn off Alpha Lock and you could go back over it. But I'm not so worried about that because I actually want to get rid of it, some of it. We're going to give it a little bit more texture. You'll see what I mean. So you're going to go to your eraser, and if you are new to the Procreate library, if you take and you pinch, we've got all these different libraries. Yours might look different based on what you've set up here already. I have this favorites. I have my purchase brushes. I've already organized these in the way that I like it. But this new Procreate library is where we're going to go. And I'm going to go to the grunge section. And there's several really fun brushes here. And we're going to use these as an eraser. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's as big. I'm going to size it all the way up. Which one do we choose? We went with the flames. And then I'm just going to lightly start erasing. And I just like the effect of this. I would encourage you to just play around with some of these different ones, see what they do, and see what effect you like the best. They're just fun. That one does a lot more erasing. The 2 fingers tap will undo what you did. So I think that looks really cute. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to adjust the color on this base of this one also. And I'm going to do the same exact thing because it's probably not showing up on camera, but there is a little bit of texture on this as well. So we're going to add another layer on top, and I'm going to choose this off-white color. Same exact thing. I'm going to drag that color down. I'm going to go up, hit the clipping mask, and then I'm going to adjust that blending mode. I'm going to go down to color, and I like that. And then, oops, sorry, got ahead of myself. We've gotten that one filled in, and now I'm going to just go ahead and add, by clicking that plus button, another layer again on top. This time, we're going to choose this light pink color, and I'm going to choose this Cowgirl Candy stripe. And same thing, we're just going to fill this in. Perfect. Go to your layers, click on that stripe layer you just did, hit clipping mask, and this is going to, so now we have both of these clipped to this shape, so that means they're not going outside of it. And then I actually want this one, I think I want this, I don't know, maybe a little lighter. So I'm going to go to this, click on the, back to the colors, I'm going to click on the disc, and I'm on the disc, sorry I said that. And we're just going to drag this over just to get a little lighter shade of pink. And then we're going to click on the layer with the stripes. We're going to tap Alpha Lock. And I have that color selected. So now we can just say fill layer, and it'll just apply the color to the stripes. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the Alpha Lock. And now we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to use the eraser, and I'm going to choose one of these brushes that I like. I think I'm going to choose the flames again. Make sure my brush is a big size. And then I'm just lightly going over this. It's just giving it a little texture that you don't have to do this. I just like this. Perfect. Again, I would encourage you to play around with the different brushes so you can see what effect you like the best. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take this cream colored layer, and I'm going to say merge down. And then, so it makes it a little more challenging to change the colors. It's not hard at all, just a little more effort. But if you're wanting to make several of these with different colors, you may not want to do this. Since we're just going to walk through this one, I am going to go ahead and merge this down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and apply the pattern just so that we simplify. And same thing here, I'm gonna apply this pattern, merge down. And that way I just have less layers in here. If you're wanting to make several of these, you might not want to do that. So it makes it a little easier for you to change out your colors and your patterns as you're doing multiple stamps. All right, now we're going to add our cow and the little symbol. So again, I'm going to drag up at the bottom. I'm going to click on hold on my folder and then drag it over to the side. And I'm just going to pull that over in the middle. So now I'm going to go to the clip art element. Now we're going to grab our cow and we're going to click and hold and drag her over. And then let's see, you'll have to click this arrow up at the top, and then we're going to grab our little postmark and drag that over as well. And that's it. Then you can tap these 3 dots at the top and say close. All right, now we have our step. If you would have had this selected before you imported those, it would have put them up there, put them in the middle. So we're going to tap that postmark and we're going to tap our cow. No, I'm going to say that all over again. Tap your cow and then slide to the right on your little postmark. If you need to move, then you just tap and drag those up, and that's how you're going to move your layers around. I'm going to turn this one off so we can just see the cow for the moment. We're going to take and size her down a little bit. So the way that we did that, let me show you again because I forget. Sometimes this is the first time you've ever done this. So we're going to tap our arrow, and then you'll see the little square pop up around it. And then you can just grab hold of one of the little dots and resize. And then you can just move her around wherever you want. All right, perfect. So now let me see how to explain this. So I want her ears and her bow to stay outside of this and the tag, but I want her body to look like it's inside here. So what we're gonna do is, there's several ways to do this. I'm gonna decide the best way to do this real quick. All right, we're gonna take and we're gonna duplicate her, and then we're gonna take and drag her down, and we're gonna say clipping mask. If I turn this one off, you can see better. So let's just back up and do that again. We're gonna turn off the top cow, take that second cow, click and hold on your layer, drag it in between the border and the base, and I say clipping mask. And then we're going to go back to that top cow, turn her on, and we're going to use our selection tool. We're just going to take and make a circle around this bottom half, and then you just tap that circle to complete it. Take 3 fingers, swipe down, and say cut. Perfect. So now you have 2 of her. If I click and hold on this one, you'll see. So she looks funny here. I'm going to click and hold on that again, but she's complete when you look at with this plus the bottom of it. So that's one of the ways I like to do this little hack where we have part of her out and then that's clipped in here. Now we're going to turn back our postmark symbol, turn that layer back on. We're going to use our arrow, and again, we're just going to resize. I'm going to move it down a little. I'm going to turn these off because it's sticking. And then this little green thing, it's your little handle. I'm going to rotate it just a little bit. Just going to drop it here on the side. You can just put that wherever you think it looks cute. And the last thing we're going to do is just add a little bit of text. So I'm going to click on this wrench up at the top, tap add. We're going to say add text. And it's outside. There we go. Every time here. Try that all over again. I'm going to tap my arrow. I'm going to move it down. I'm going to tap that arrow again. I'm going to double click on it, and we're going to change the color of it to black. So when you have this wheel opened up, if you double tap like I just did next to the black, it will select that true black for you. And then we're going to, let's see, we want the keyboard here. Show keyboard. There we go. We're going to say the numbers 5, and then click the numbers again. I want to do 5 cents on this. I don't have a clue. I should look it up when the last time a stamp was 5 cents, but it sounds cute. So to get to the cent mark, you're going to click and hold on the $sign, and it's going to pop up some more options, and then you can do your cent. And I have a $sign in there too, so we're going to get rid of that. And now we're going to change the font on this. And I have this one that I liked. Can't remember the name of it. I think it was up here. Hang on. Bear with me just a moment. American typewriter. I don't remember if this was I don't think it was a Procreate font. I think it was one that I installed along the line somewhere, but that's the one I'm going to go with. I'm going to hit check. And then I'm just going to use my arrow. I'm going to move this down. I'm going to make it a little bigger by clicking and dragging. And so right now you can see this A here. So this means this is still a text layer. But what I'm about to do is going to rasterize it and make it not a text layer anymore. So you would not be able to go back and edit your text after this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my selection tool, have that on freehand, and I'm just going to draw around my little cent sign here and complete that. And I'm going to tap the arrow. So just want to make that part just a little smaller and drag it up. Perfect. So now you can see that it doesn't have that A on it anymore. Maybe you can see. And that is because now this is rasterized, so you can't just easily edit the text anymore. Now we have a cute little cow stamp. So I hope that you really have fun testing out some of the different patterns and playing around with this. I can't wait to see if you guys participate in the challenge, what different kinds of stamps that you come up with. It's going to be so much fun. So after you get done with your stamp, if you want to, I'm going to show you real quick. I made a couple fun designs using it. Where are they? So I made this little seamless pattern that is really cute, and you could put that on a blanket, paper, all kinds of stuff. Let's see, I also had made, oh, nope, that's not it. Well, I don't know where it is, but you can make all kinds of designs with these. And if you want to export it, in order to do that, you're going to turn off your background layer so that you have that back one shut off. So just the layers that you want. And you'll click your wrench tool, and then you're going to say share, and then you're going to click on PNG. And when you export this as a PNG, it will keep that background transparent. And then at this point, you can just export this. You would just navigate to wherever you wanted to save this, and you can rename it right here, call it whatever you want, and then hit upload, and it's going to export it to wherever you are wanting to, whatever file you save it to. I don't need to do that, so I'm just going to get back out of here, and that's it. So fun. I can't wait to see what everybody makes for the challenge. I was searching all over for the design that I made, and I couldn't find it, but I did want to show you. This is, let's see if we can get it to focus. So this was another design that I put together. You can see how you can use the stamp and the different brushes, and you can just really play around with this and have a lot of fun creating whatever kinds of stamps you want. After you get done with that, you can put it on, let's see, I can zoom in. Nope, it's not gonna let me, but so you can make a cute t-shirt. And this was the pattern that I showed you, and this is what it looks like when you take your seamless pattern and put it on something. So this is a blanket. So super cute. So just have fun with this, and I can't wait to see what you guys do. So with that, the challenge, you're going to take and you're going to use what you learned to create your own stamp. It can be any theme that you want. The only thing is you just need to use the stamp, and like I said, any theme that you want, you're going to take and create your own design. It can be a pattern, it can be a t-shirt design, it can be, your imagination is the limit here. Share your design in our Peachy Designs Facebook group. Again, I'm going to link all of this below. Between November 3rd and 10th, tag it with hashtag stamp challenge. I'm going to choose a random winner, and they'll get a $25 Amazon gift card. If you love this project, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss our future lessons. Don't forget, we will be skipping December because December. If you want more art like this, be sure to check out the Peachy Clip Art Club. I have new theme bundles every month. And if you want to learn more about Procreate, I have a Procreate Essentials for Beginners course, so that it'll just kind of go a little deeper into all of the different things you can do in Procreate, from making seamless patterns to creating designs. And I even do an intro into POD, which is print on demand, if you want to learn more about that. Thank you so much for creating with me today, and I cannot wait to see what you make.